So this video is more to talk, kind of like, more of a, I guess you could say, like a, what is to be done, or actually that's not the right word. What should the future of the Monsterverse be? For the longest time, like, there was a hot minute where the Monsterverse was just going to be done after Godzilla vs. Kong, right? Like, we all thought, like, Godzilla vs. Kong was, like, the end. And it really did feel like the end. Because it was very clear after, and this is going to sound a little, it's a really callous thing to say, but, like, the post-pandemic era of the world was the biggest saving point for the Monsterverse. Because, like, this movie would not have survived. Like, you could say, like, oh, Godzilla vs. Kong would have pulled in so much money even if there wasn't an outbreak. And to which I say, no, it wouldn't have. It was written, Hollywood have already written it off even before Godzilla, even before it came out. In 2019, they literally were like, yeah, King of the Monsters, as much as that movie, we like it as G fans, or most of us do, I know legendary movies are divisive for some reason or another. But for the most part, yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong was just going to be thrown out and just be like, alright, next shared universe, let's do another DC film. But then 2021 happened and people wanted to escape. You know, I remember, and I talked about this in my Godzilla vs. Kong review, there were people cheering and, like, applauding and, like, going, woo, and people, it was a standing ovation. The only other time I saw a standing ovation for a movie was The Dark Knight back in 2008. And I know that happens sometimes or another, but there were, like, this was the second time in my life I had ever seen a standing ovation for a movie, let alone a Godzilla and Kong movie. Like, yeah. So, so it's safe to say that, like, the Monsterverse is still going, but the thing of it is that now that we know the Monsterverse is a go, even Warner Brothers was like, people liked it, fuck, let's do another movie. And we have Godzilla and Kong. Although I have heard that that's not the real title of the film, they're keeping it hush-hush, which again, Comic-Con, I imagine they'll announce something at Comic-Con or close to Comic-Con, and it reveal the real title, which some people are speculating is Destroy All Monsters, but we will see. Like, we will legit see if that's true or not. We'll see. So what should the future of the Monsterverse be? That's what the real meat of this video is like, what should be the real future of the Monsterverse? I think it's something we need to really discuss because Godzilla and Kong can only carry this franchise for so long. Yes, those are two of the biggest monsters in kaiju history, the big two, but yeah, and it did help, bring Gamera back out of the shadows. I can't wait for that Gamera anime series. It brought back, Ultraman came back because of them. So yeah, it's safe to, like, but the thing is, you can only carry this franchise with just those two monsters for so long. So I think if you want to keep this a shared universe, and in my head, just real quick, in my head, I like to think that, like, this is like, this Godzilla and Kong movie is the start of the Phase 2 of the Monsterverse. Like, Godzilla vs. Kong was the end of Phase 1, now we're coming to Phase 2. At least that's in my head. I know, it's totally stupid, but yeah. So Godzilla and Kong is the start of the Phase 2 of the Monsterverse. But we'll see how long that lasts, depending on how good it is. We do have Adam Wingard coming back, but anyway. So the question is, like, what can you do with this Monsterverse? What I think, and I've talked about this before in other videos, is that one of the big things I think you need to do is bring in new monsters. I think, like, it's vital that you bring in new monsters every chance you can, and bring them in post haste. Like, I think it's vital that you need to breathe in new life with these monsters. Now, could they work with something with Toho? I think it's possible. Toho has been very nice with Legendary and Warner Brothers. They've been very nice to each other. I think, yeah, Legendary and Warner Brothers has been playing very good ball. Have been playing ball with Toho, and I think, like, they will allow other monsters to show up. But here's the thing: we have a whole treasure trove of monsters not just from King of the Monsters, but also like you have a whole treasure chest of monsters back in the 50s era. Warner Brothers has so many monsters that they can use. Like the big one I think that should be a comeback and make his appearance in the Monsterverse is the Rhodosaurus from 20,000 Leagues Under the from the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. It was a major inspiration for Godzilla. And hell, maybe in this, if you do a remake of it, I think it would be kind of cool if you made the Rhodosaurus like the Rhodosaurus is a subspecies of Godzilla's species. I think that'd be a cool way to take it. Is that it's another it's like a subspecies, like kind of like how Cro-Magnon Man and Homo sapien were kind of closely related, but one just branched off into another thing. I feel like that's how you could do it. You could even give the Rhodosaurus, a beam. Like you can give him a beam attack like Godzilla does. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be neat also to bring back... There's also the giant tarantula. There is... Well, Them is from Fox, I should say, so that's Disney's property. And I do know that Them is getting in talks of getting a remake at some point, so yay! Hope that goes through. I love that movie. I feel like that... Even the giant claw. I feel like that movie should get a shot. Yeah, it's so bad, it's good. Also, the deadly mantis. There's so many the 20 Million Miles to Earth, the Ymir. A lot of Ray Harryhausen's the octopus from It came from beneath the sea. There's so many monsters especially that Ray Harryhausen made that you can just pull from. It's so fucking easy. Like that's the thing is that Warner Brothers in the 50s and 60s was really good at making low-budget stop-motion monsters, even bad puppet monsters, and they have the rights to those monsters. Just open the treasure trove up and be like, you. I will also say that I think it's high time that... I really do think it's high time to fold Rampage, even though it is a video game movie, Rampage and the Meg into the Monsterverse. They would fit really well. And it actually wouldn't be that hard. You can just say, like, oh yeah, they've been there the whole time. Pacific Rim could have made it into the Monsterverse had Uprising not shit the bed so fucking hard. I liked that movie when it first came out, but then I rewatched and I was like, oof, this was tough. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, maybe it'll get a reboot or something, I don't know. But yeah, I do think Rampage and the Meg, as much as I dislike the Meg, because I'm such a fucking book purist for that movie, but maybe The Trench will be better. Maybe The Trench will be, like, the second film will be better, which I'm surprised we haven't got a trailer for. Knowing what I just said, I will get the trailer tomorrow. Knowing my fucking luck. It's actually kind of sidebar. It's kind of funny because I was just thinking to myself, back on Friday, like, man, we're getting Renfield. I'm wondering when we're going to get a trailer for Last Voyage of the Demeter. And lo and behold, an hour after I thought that, it came into being, and we got the trailer for Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I am very excited for. But that's the thing, is that there is, like, I think it would not be hard to bring the Meg and Rampage and make them a part of the Monsterverse. They are it's just big monsters destroying shit. So it wouldn't be that hard to bring them in and say, oh yeah, they were there the whole time, and just be like, it's not multiverse or anything, they just happened at different parts of the world, because they didn't interact with Godzilla and the others. The shark was attacking China, and, well, it was attacking Beijing, the Megalodon was attacking Beijing, and you can have that, yeah, Chicago was attacked by by George and the other mutant monsters. Wouldn't be that hard. And just, that's your explanation. But yeah, and let's not forget the monsters that were brought up, and again, in King of the Monsters, Behemoth, Methuselah, Baphomet, Tiamat, all of them. They could show up. I'd love to see them get their own spin-off movies. I think that would be, to quote Kennedy from Clone High, that would be so fine. God, I'm so fucking stupid. Anyway, Anyway, as I was saying, I think the big thing with this is that we need more monsters. And yeah, we could get Mothra again. We could get a Rodan film. But I think, I think Warner Brothers just can't depend on just Godzilla and Kong. They need these other monsters, whether they be... I would totally be down with original monsters, like new monsters, even outside of the ones we got from Doherty's film. I would totally be okay with the idea of, here's a new monster, totally new, and he's now part of the Monsterverse. Yeah. Hell, if you want to go with other monsters that are known IPs, maybe Warner Brothers can negotiate... Actually, I think they might have partial ownership of this film. Gorgo. Bring Gorgo back. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think the future of the Monsterverse should be? Should it just be carried by Godzilla and Kong? Or do you think that it should bring in some new blood? I'm always a fan of new blood, and yeah. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think? Also, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can check out my review for Renfield. I just posted that, but other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.